Oh, man. Thank you so much. Sorry for the delay. We were up in the Bronx at Jacoby Hospital. And many of you heard me from time to time talk about during campaigning, I kept this journal. I would sit down and speak with people during the campaign, and I would keep a journal on my dream team, just based on the interviews, my interactions throughout the years, and build out this team that I want to sort of assemble together of superstars to turn our city around in those areas that are important. And there were two people on the list that I considered to be the LeBron James and Steph Curry of this game. And I said, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to get them, but I'm going to darn sure try. And today we are announcing that Team New York has put together the right contract to bring on the superstars. And they have contributed so much to the issues of housing and have communicated with the advocates who are standing behind me to, number one, listen. So often people who are experts are not willing to listen to those who are the experts on the front line are doing the job that's needed to be done. And so I just want to acknowledge some of the advocates that are here today. Number one, Jessica, I'm sorry, is our council person here? Chris, okay, got you. Two council members that are extremely important to us. Number one, Council Member Sanchez and Council Member Marte. I've met them on the trail so often doing the right things for the people of the city. But I'm really excited about the announcement of these two important New Yorkers, Jessica Katz. Jessica just gave me so much information during the time I was running. Her wealth of knowledge in this area is just crucial. And my just longtime good friend and a person who I've watched over the years, not only as the former borough president, but also what he has done, his knowledge in Washington, and now here in the city of New York, Adolfo Carrión. And just thank you so much for just joining this team. But even some of the advocates that are here, you know, first of all, I'm going to give my staff for not writing my prints larger. You know, they keep forgetting that I done hit 62. We want to thank the Commissioner and CEO of New York State's Homes and Community Renewal, Ruth Ann Vishnowski. Did I do a good job, Ruth Ann? Yeah, great job. There you go. As well as Miguel Acevedo, President of NYCHA Fulton Housing Tenant Association, Rafael Cestero, CEO of Community Preservation Corporation, my good friend Rachel Fee, Executive Director of New York Housing Conference. She keeps us in the right direction. Paul of Freetag, Executive Director of West Side Federation of Senior and Supportive Housing, and Laura Masoch. Did I pronounce that right? Correctly? Okay. Executive Director of Supportive Housing Network of New York. So their presence today is saying that we hear you, we see you, we notify you. And a lot of the oxygen has been sucked out of the room because of the violence that we are seeing in the city. And what we are going to do as New Yorkers, we're going to allow the leaders that are heading our agencies to come, and you need to see them more. I want to send this message loudly and clearly. This is not Mayor Adams' show. This is the show of my team. I'm the coach. I'm on the sideline. They are going to be on the court. They're going to be placing the ball in the hoop. They're going to be winning the points for our team. And it's unfortunate for us that during these last few weeks, crime has been just so present that I had to really be visible to tell New Yorkers that we're going to control the public safety aspects. But we have built a team, and that team is going to be front and center of rolling out their agenda and what we need to say. And I said this from day one on the campaign. Housing is crucial. It's a crisis. On the verge of living homeless as a child, I know how important a roof is over your head. It's more than just four walls. I think it's a precursor to the American dream to allow you to enjoy the American experience. And too many people are waking up in the nightmarish reality of not having affordable, clean, decent housing. And they're concerned. They live on the edge of homelessness. They live on the edge of uncertainty. Can they pay their rents or not? And we want to make sure that stops. And it's not only in one part of the city, but throughout the city. And our housing system cannot be built on just shelters. We cannot think that we are doing our job, the mere fact that we built a shelter in a different location. No. Housing is a space to raise healthy children and families, and it's a feeder to success. The numbers are clear. Children who grow up homeless are less likely to graduate from high school. And if you are not educated, you are incarcerated for the most part. And that is the holistic approach that we're moving forward. And nothing personifies that more than NYCHA residents that can't get repairs, dealing with crime in the areas. We cannot even monitor successfully the entire NYCHA operation to the level that we expect. Too many people are feeling the pressure every month that are they going to have the decent housing that they deserve. And I want to be clear that this administration is going to create, preserve, and maintain safe and affordable housing in an equitable way. And those are the cornerstones of what we want to accomplish. And doing so, we will build equitably throughout the city. We will build in a safer manner, and we will have a safe city. You cannot have housing in one location that's unsafe and another location that's safe. That safety must be permeated throughout our entire city. And that is the vision. And right now, it is the moment. And bringing the right team together can make sure that that moment turns into a reality. Another generation should not grow up without the acceptable housing that they deserve. And so we're going to be bold and we're going to be aggressive to build the right housing in the right place and not just one location, but throughout the entire city. So we're going to fight for our NYCHA residents. We're going to fight for those who are holding on to the homes and housing that they have, and we're going to be creative. We're going to bring our fellow New Yorkers to a place that they can live. And we know that City Hall can get it right because here we live by one motto and one belief. We are going to get stuff done. That is the motto of this administration, getting stuff done. And to do this, we have to accomplish great teams. The team must be creative and fearless in how they pursue all of the agendas that we are facing. And it's a 24/7 operation. Not only am I going to show up everywhere and every place, but my team is doing that. Sometimes, my presence is the presence of a symbol. Eric appears to be everywhere, but trust me, my team is everywhere. They are present throughout the city, and they have embraced the belief that we must be on the ground because, as I say it, you can't be a good shepherd if you're not among the sheep. It's the sheep, and that's something that we're going to continue to do. And so today I'm proud to announce this housing team, a group of extraordinary leaders who are ready to meet the challenges that are in front of us. As I stated, our new chief housing officer, will lead the entire team. Jessica Katz is our new commissioner of the Department of Housing Preservation and Development, and our new commissioner of the Department of Housing Preservation and Development is Adolfo Carrión, a real partner in this between Jessica, our chief housing officer, and Adolfo Carrión. We're going to put together the right team. But I also want to announce my reappointment of the president of New York City Housing Development Corporation, Eric Enderlin. He brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to really round out this team that we are putting together. And so they're going to speak for themselves, and you're going to hear their vision. You're going to hear how they're going to accomplish this important task of affordable housing for working class New Yorkers. And I am going to create and preserve affordable housing in every corner of this city. And with their vision, we're going to be able to make it happen. So I'm thrilled to bring on these two important entities in our operation, of two that I have sought after and really wanted to bring on my team. I respect them. I admire their accomplishments and their commitment and dedication to the people of this city. And I think we're going to be a better place in the area of housing with their vision. So first, I want to bring on our Chief Housing Officer, my good friend Jessica Katz. Jessica?
Thank you, Mayor Adams. I'm honored to be here today, and I'm humbled by this new appointment. You have made it clear that the mandate of this administration is to get stuff done, and I'm 100% aligned with you on that. City policies must be rooted in helping people. That is how I've always approached my work, and I know you'll agree that when it comes to housing, we must work together as a city to get all of our neighbors into safe, stable homes that they can afford. I've been working in New York's housing world for 20 years, where I've met some of the most passionate public servants, developers, and advocates imaginable. And I look forward to leaning on all of them as we tackle our housing issues. Thank you for being here. Whether it's finally fixing NYCHA and putting the voices of 500,000 NYCHA residents at the center of the debate around the future of their homes, or working with HPD's development partners to ensure new housing production that serves those who are most in need, building a reliable and trusted framework for supportive housing that allows people to live on their own, but with the services in place to help them thrive. To expand the supply of housing, we need to turn to some new housing tools and typologies and dust off some old ones to meet the city's housing needs. Basement apartments, hotel and office conversions, and a new generation of SROs are all part of the toolkit we need to meet the city's housing crisis. And finally, I see it as my mission to make sure that tenants, homeowners, and the development community have fewer administrative burdens as they navigate the city's housing programs. I want to make sure that our system is designed around people, not paperwork, and that we find ways to house New Yorkers quickly without asking people the same re-traumatizing questions over and over again at the very moment when they need the government's support the most. We can build a system that follows all the rules and provides good customer service at the same time. I know as I list out these priorities, solving these complex issues will not be easy, but we can move forward as a city. To my many mentors who have coached me throughout my career, you know who you are, I wouldn't be here today without your guidance. And to our state partners, especially HCR Commissioner Ruth Ann Wisnauskas, who is here, and I'm grateful to call my friend, I know New Yorkers will benefit from the state and city working together towards our shared mission. Thank you to Eric Enderlin, who will continue his steady stewardship of HDC, and thank you to Adolfo Carrión, our new HPD commissioner. I can confidently say we have put together a star team to take on New York City's housing challenges. I spent the last 4 years dreaming up new ways to make our housing policies meet the needs of the moment during my time at Citizens Housing and Planning Council, which has the most passionate staff and board. I'm so excited to put some of those big ideas and small but vital policy changes into action. And before I wrap, I also want to mention that I'm so grateful to my husband for his support and patience as I take on this challenge. If anyone here needed proof of my stubbornness and determination, Consider the fact that I'm attempting to take this job with a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, who, as it turns out, do not care much about my professional accomplishments. But thank you for supporting me nonetheless, and to pursue what I really think of as a calling. And thank you to Mayor Adams for your trust in me to take on this role. We have a long road ahead, but I'm excited to get to work.
And thank you, Jessica. And you probably missed something Jessica stated that really I found important when we talked. We re-traumatize New Yorkers. Imagine going to every agency when you need assistance and you have to retell your story. You have to refine the paperwork. Those residents who were part of the Bronx fire, imagine going for help and they're asking you for all of these documents and information that we have already. We have on file already all of this information. But this sadistic approach that I'm going to re-traumatize you, make you go through it again, why you need housing, why you need support, let you say every agency you go to visit, you have to talk again about what you have gone through. Instead of us using that information and just giving it to each agency, we rather put people through the same ordeal. This is one city. We should have one source of information. And Jessica was right. Paper cannot be in front of people. It's about people. We don't have a people customer service city. And that's what we're going to turn around. Be smarter on how do we help New Yorkers. This is not only about dollars and cents. Darn it, it's about common sense. And that common sense is going to move us forward. And I think when I talk about common sense, no one personifies that more than the new Commissioner of the Department of Housing and Preservation and Development, of my good friend Adolfo Carrión.
Mayor Adams. I don't know if I want to be Seth Curry or James LeBron on your team. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you all. I'm delighted to join this team after a long career in public service. I'm coming back, and it feels so good. I'm energized to join this stellar team that the mayor has put together to work with people like Ruth Ann Wisnauskas. I see Council Member Pierina Sanchez, Chair of the Housing Committee here. Some of my friends over at HDC who crunch the numbers to make these housing development deals work and be affordable and pencil out many hours of work. The staff at HPD is amazing and needs to be supported. Their efforts need to be aligned with all the other agencies. We need to partner with our sister agencies, Mr. Mayor. I see that, we are also not only a housing production agency, but as you suggested, we're a preservation agency. We're an agency that should be concerned about quality, and obviously, as the mayor suggested, it's all permeated and should be permeated with equity of opportunity for tenants, for developers, for community organizations, for neighborhood organizations. So I'm thrilled to be able to join this stellar team and work with these folks back here who are in the toiling in the field, trying to make New York City better for working families. I appreciate the partnership and friendship of people like Rafael Sestero, who was the HPD commissioner and knows how this stuff works. The mayor said to us the other day, there is a housing crisis. There's an affordability crisis. There is a quality of life crisis. There's a crisis of opportunity that I want to address. And there has to be a level of urgency on this side that meets the level of crisis on that side. And so we're going to create the sense of urgency that's necessary to make sure that every single person, the inspector that goes out to the building, the person taking the application, the person crunching the numbers, the person discussing policy, the person going with us to talk to Ruth and Wisniewskis or to the city council or to the state legislators or to the members of Congress, that they are all aligned with that sense of purpose and that sense of urgency. The mayor also said something over his campaign and more recently reaffirmed it to us last week. And I just want to share my perspective on it, and then, I'll stop. He said, this is personal to me. And I will tell you, this is personal to me as well, Mr. Mayor. My parents came from Puerto Rico in the 1950s, in the early 1950s. They married in 1959 and they moved into a tenement in Williamsburg on South 2nd Street, a basement apartment. Factory worker, he was working on the diamond district, learning how to set diamonds. The story moves forward and we go from Williamsburg, not the Williamsburg of today, but the Williamsburg of then, of the 1960s, to Jacob Reese houses. And we find a 3-bedroom apartment, HUD assisted. We're there for a few years, and then guess what? We go to Haven Plaza on Avenue C and 12th Street. HUD assisted living, affordable housing for families, working families. And we're there long enough to save enough money for a down payment to get an FHA supported mortgage to buy our home in the country in the North Bronx. And that's the story. And that's the kind of investment that Mayor Adams wants to make, that this team wants to make, that this administration wants to make. And we get it. We get it. It should be a platform for opportunity and for families getting ahead that we create. Neighborhoods of opportunity, neighborhoods rich with aspiration. And I look forward, thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Mayor, to join your team. We're going to roll up our sleeves. I'm looking forward to working with Jessica Katz, who is a giant in this field, and all the other folks. Let's get to work. I'm ready to rock and roll, sir.
The administration is made up of people who have gone through a lot so they can help people who are going through a lot. And we can't do this without our partners in Albany. We're really pleased with Governor Hochul and her entire team. And so we want to bring on Ruth Ann Wisniewskis, who's the Commissioner and CEO of New York State Homes and Community Renewal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Governor Hochul, I am really delighted to be here to celebrate this day. As many of you know, the city and the state work incredibly closely together, and I would congratulate Mayor Adams on really hitting the ball out of the park with a A-plus team with Adolfo and Jessica and Eric. The past 2 years have certainly brought into laser focus for all of us the importance of health and housing, the intersection of affordable housing and health, and our success at the state is hand in glove with success at the city level, and frankly is really rooted in it. And I couldn't imagine a better set of partners than everyone standing to my right here and really everyone standing behind me to tackle that crisis over the next 4 years. And so I'm delighted to be here today. I congratulate you all and can't wait to get to work.
Thank you. So we're going to open up to questions, but I want to, I have two council persons who are here. I have a deep level of respect for, and I just want to give them an opportunity. Since my good friend Councilman Sanchez came all the way down from the BX, and Christopher, this is like right here in his district. And so why don't you guys say, housing is important to you. Why don't you say a brief word before we open up to questions?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Councilmember Pierina Sanchez from the Bronx. And I'm an urban planner by background, so no stranger to the folks that you have chosen here today. And I'm not going to pretend to be good at sports analogies, but I think that's right. I think what Mr. Mayor said is right. I mean, I actually not to date anyone, but I was a constituent of council member Adolfo Carrión when he was council member, when he was borough president. When he moved on to HUD, I had the pleasure, the honor to work with Jessica Katz and Mr. Miguel Acevedo at NYCHA projects when I was on your side, Mr. Mayor, as a mayoral staffer. And as has been said, you know, this is a moment of crisis in so many ways. But I am so heartened because the leadership that we have in this city right now and the team that you're putting together is just a group of folks who have this lived experience, who have this passion for the city of New York and for making sure that this is a city of opportunity. And so to see this leadership team, you know, gives me a lot of heart. You know, we will be your accountability oversight entity at the city council, but we're more so than that, your implementation partner. We are the folks that are connected on the ground with our constituents, and I definitely want to make sure that you are a success. So thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations. This is a great day because, as the mayor said, we're facing an affordability crisis. And this city has meant so much for so many families over the decades, thinking that this is the place for opportunity, not just jobs, but to live in the place where they could raise their kids and their kids could become the leaders of this city. And that doesn't happen if we don't have affordable units. That doesn't happen if we don't have equity in housing in all 5 boroughs. And one thing that I've seen from this administration from day one is that they're willing to go to every corner of this city and address the problems that they see. Whether it was the first week with small businesses, whether it was this past week with patrolling the snow, where the mayor went literally to every borough to see what was happening. And I feel like this is the same way, in partnership with the city council, that we have to address the affordability crisis. And as my colleague said, Councilmember Sanchez, the city can do something, but if the people on the ground don't know what the city is doing, then it's not going to work. We have to do, as the mayor said, put the people first before the paper. And that's where we in the council can bring the people to the government to get that support. Thank you.
And we, you know, you hit it out the park. You know, part of the game is showing up. And there will never be a mayor since LaGuardia that is going to work as hard as I am for the people of this city. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up. And when I walk in that office and I look at that desk and it has LaGuardia's name on it, I'm going to live up to that mayor. He was the original GSD, Get Stuff Done mayor. And we're back there again. This is going to be a Get Stuff Done mayor. Welcome to questions.
Yes, Ms. Katz, if I can get you to come to the microphone. Let's get into specifics. What are the biggest housing problems facing the city? What are the biggest challenges, and what do you see doing about it?
I'd say the 3 biggest challenges are homelessness, fixing NYCHA, and making sure that the process by which we utilize our programs is functioning for everyday New Yorkers.
What does that mean? What's not functioning? What are the problems?
It takes a really long time, and as the mayor talked about, often agencies don't share information with each other, so you end up in a situation where you're asking people to prove how poor they are over and over and over again, instead of working behind the scenes to make sure that the agencies can share information to expedite people's moving into housing.
What are the biggest problems there?
I mean, we've got some tenants here who can tell you better than anyone, who I've worked with for a long time, and I'm proud to call my friends. The conditions at NYCHA are unacceptable, and we really need to move forward on a really practical, forward-facing plan to fix them.
How are you going to do all that?
We're going to work together across silos. We have 2 of my good friend NYCHA residents here today, and I think making sure that NYCHA tenants have a voice in deciding the future of their homes is really critical, because there's no trust, there's not a lot of trust left between NYCHA and the residents, and that is something that's going to take a while to rebuild. And one really important way to rebuild it is to make sure that tenants really have a seat at the table. So that's going to be an important first step.
My question is for you, Ms. Katz, and for you, Mr. Carrión. I wanted to ask what HPD can and will do to make landlords take self-closing door violations more seriously, especially after what we saw in the Bronx.
I think the mayor started that campaign last week and a half ago when this terrible tragedy occurred. Close the door became a mantra. All of the doors are legally supposed to be self-closing. We have inspectors that will go out on a regular basis. But I think the campaign also is critical. The fire department has joined that campaign as well, so we will be a big part of that.
Will you do blitzes to check on especially outstanding violations? I know there's also an effort in the city to not kill people with violations, but when it comes to something as serious as a self-closing door, what will you do specifically? Are there buildings that you know of that have long-term issues, especially multi-unit HPD-owned buildings?
So I think particularly once the FDNY has finished its investigation of specifically what went wrong in this Bronx fire, that's when all the different agencies that touch this process need to get together and really figure out a productive plan to move forward to make sure that we can prevent this from ever happening again.
For the mayor as well as Ms. Katz. So you're appointing her as a chief housing officer. There's been some questions about deputy mayor for housing, some criticism from advocates for not having one, as well as there's been reporting that some people turned down this position because of the lack of a deputy mayor position. So if in fact you've decided against having that position, why is that? And then for Ms. Katz, how do you feel about the way the position's been structured?
Okay, first, no one turned down the position. When I came into office, my goal was Jessica. That's who I wanted. And there was no one else I approached that said, no, they don't want to do the job. My deputy mayors report directly to the first deputy mayor, Lorraine Grillo. Jessica reports directly to the first deputy mayor, Lorraine Grillo. We are focused on housing. This is my #1 agenda. And people who want to look at the schematic or the org chart to determine how I'm going to execute my plan, they're making a big mistake. I can only say this in the words of my son, I got this.
Yeah, I have a specific question for both Jessica Katz and the mayor. There's an apartment building in Harlem right now on this freezing cold day, NYCHA housing, Lehman Village, 80 East 110th Street. They haven't had heat for 3 days. They put in their tickets, nothing happens. They say NYCHA says they don't own the boilers, meanwhile they're freezing. What can you say to those people?
And I like that because what you just raised personifies the dysfunctionality of our city. We have become professionals at pointing the fingers and saying, that's not my job. No. That is your job. Your job is to tell residents of this city, if they have an issue, it is our job to navigate where they need to go to get that issue rectified. I'm going to get up there tomorrow. If I can't get up there today, I'm going to investigate on what's going on to find out what's the problem, and we're going to get it resolved. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, but we will find out what's happening up there that tenants are not getting heat and get someone on top of it. And I want to know who told them it's not their job. The job of government is to not refer to complainant, but refer to complaint. We should be navigating the complexities of government. I don't want to ever hear someone say, it's not my job, it's not my problem. It is our job and problem. That is what we're supposed to do as government. So we will look into this, and I'll get back to you with a response on exactly what's taking place. That's unacceptable that these tenants are going through that.
One tenant says that NYCHA said to her, it is a project, it's not a co-op. What do you expect?
I hope she has the name of that person. You know, I hope she has that name. Thank you. You got another one? Yes.
I wasn't privy to all the funding conversations that some of you were part of, so preface that. But it seemed like de Blasio was often looking to Washington, to Albany, to fund NYCHA. It was kind of looking elsewhere. Your budget's coming up. NYCHA obviously always needs more money. What are we going to see there? Is there going to be more city budget allocated towards public housing?
You know, I say this all the time, that we need to look at how we're spending taxpayers' dollars. And our first response is, you know, are we spending more? We first must do an analysis of what we're doing with what we're spending. That's why Matt Frazier, our CFO, is coming together to make sure that we put in place some form of a NYCHA stat to see every dollar that's going into the system and how we're spending it. Is NYCHA doing the best with the money that they have? And if we don't analyze that, then we're not going to make smart decisions. In every agency, we need to look at how we're spending. Are we doing the job that we are supposed to do in these various agencies? And as a CFO, CTO, as Chief Technology Officer. But that's the goal. So, we're going to analyze, we're going to introduce a NYCHA stat to see how long tickets are open, how much money comes into NYCHA, where is it going, how many contractors are doing service that they're not living up to. We need to really analyze taxpayers' dollars. We're not looking at taxpayers' dollars and protecting those dollars the way they ought to do. And if more money is needed, then we need to zero in and make sure we prioritize the more money that's needed to get it done. But the first order of business is to do a real assessment on what are we doing with the money right now and hear from those tenants on the ground. Those tenants and tenants leaders. I had a meeting last week with the tenant organizers of NYCHA. And they have real information on how to turn this around, and we're going to hear directly from them and make these smart decisions. I'm excited about the future of NYCHA and the future of this city. Thank you very much.